thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, so we'll have Ian in his patrol unit, and the speaker should be Jason or Phil.
Hi.
Hi. So our plan for the Culture Day is, so first we'll be doing a kind of photo booth with the Canadian flag in the background, and we will bring stuff like fur hats, cowboy hats, lumber jackets, denim clothing, plaid jackets, maybe a bay blanket, stuff like that. Then we're going to build an archway at the front of the unit campsite with the Canadian, Ontario, Alberta, and BC flags hanging from it. We're making homemade Timbits with maple candy to give out. Our unit has made a test batch and they turned out well. And we're trying to connect with Tim Hortons to get a banner and swag. We're gonna make some team skis to do that, and possibly do some playing with hockey sticks. Yeah, thank you for your time. That's all I really have.
Lovely. That sounds super fun. Any questions from anyone on that one?
David has a question.
No, actually, I just was putting my thumbs up. So excellent job, Jason.
Yeah, I have to mention Leith got thrown under the bus here. The scout that was supposed to present his hockey game ran long, and about 2 minutes ago, Leith was told to do this, so he's pulled it together.
Fantastic. And you guys are from which unit?
We're Unit 20. I'm not sure which unit number we are. I'm
Unit 23.
23. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I get mixed up because I'm Patrol 21, Unit 23. Yeah.
Perfect.
They're Unit 23?
I think they're
No.
Canadian Jamboree Unit 5, I think Unit 23. Officially, that's what they wrote on their template, at least.
They're Patrol 21.
We're Patrol 21, but I'm not sure what the overall unit number is.
I will tell you that in just a second. Jason. You are Jamboree Unit 5.
5. Okay, good. That's good to know.
Perfect.
Okay.
Great stuff. Okay, so we'll move to Jamboree Unit 6 under Ella, and the presenter is Ash Rudolshine.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
Ash, can hear you.
Hi. So, our unit is going to be doing someone else talking. Sorry. Our unit is going to be doing hockey, and we're going to be bringing small hockey sticks and cardboard boxes as hockey nets. And sorry, we'll also be playing Canadian music in the background. We have a couple playlists that we've put together that include Canadian artists. Then we'll also be making Bannock.
Sorry, Ash, I'm not sure whether you might be cutting off a little bit at the end there, or maybe you might be muted.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Can you hear any of that? Or should
Yeah,
I start?
we heard most of it. I think we got cut off at the Bannock area.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, we'll be making Bannock with Saskatoon jam and blueberries and maple and stuff like that. And we should be able to get all the ingredients there in Korea. And yeah, we have a recipe laid out. I think that's kind of it.
Just a quick question. With the recipe, will you have that available as an email that you can provide all the participants should they ask for it, or will you have something along that lines to do with that?
Yeah, so we have the recipe here.
Okay. I'm just saying that you might get other people from around the world going, hey, that's really good. What's the recipe? And you can just, send them an email or whatever with the recipe on it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Excellent, guys.
I'd suggest putting it on a Google site, and then you could make a QR code for that and just have that posted somewhere.
Brilliant. Great idea.
Nice. Okay. And then I just want to maybe circle back for translations for the first two units. David,
I've put the translation in the chat directly,
Oh.
so I won't translate each of the presentations. I will only translate kind of the generic things. Donc, je vais juste le dire là, pour ceux qui veulent, on va pas traduire chaque présentation, mais vous pouvez trouver en français la description de chaque présentation dans le chat. Si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas, vous pouvez les écrire en français, on pourra les poser en anglais. Merci.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay, over to Jamboree Unit 7 under Laura.
All right, okay. We're going to be doing basketball because the inventor of basketball was Canadian. We're going to bring like mini basketball, backboards and balls. And we're also going to bring maple candies. I didn't put together the slideshow. I was just told to read it, so sorry.
Just say we have some information on the prices.
We have some information on like the prices. We have
That's good. That's good.
I didn't put this together.
That's good. Thank you. And thank you for everyone for stepping up to present on behalf of your team and helping to be prepared for that. It's good teamwork. Yeah, any feedback for that? That sounds, I didn't know that basketball was actually invented. It's like part of our Canadian history. That's actually a very interesting fact. Okay.
Cameron Redford has a question.
Yeah, just to chime in here, our group will also be doing a sorry board game just because of the stereotype that Canadians are always apologizing. And that was just one point that was left out.
Very good. Cool.
Nice work for that unit. Excellent. Okay. Over to Unit 1. So that would be under Manon, and then I think it's Simone and Magali. Sorry.
Magali, yeah.
Magali.
So I'm going to be sharing my screen. We do have one slide, and Simone Magali will be speaking to it. So does everybody see the slides? Yeah.
Yes.
Magali, Simon, whenever you want.
OK. Donc, je vais faire la présentation en français et Magali va la faire en anglais. Donc, nous, on est la seule unité du Québec. Donc, on a essayé de faire des choses de la Cité du Québec. Donc, au début, on a une marche avec tous les drapeaux de la francophonie au Canada. Puis, on a le nom de nos 4 patrouilles. Donc, il y a les Hibou égaré, l'Odyssée, Espion et Licorne flamboyante. Magali, tu veux-tu traduire là?
Yeah, so we're gonna do a translation as we're going, since we're the only francophones in the patrol. So first, we're gonna have every francophone flag, for every province hanging out, so to show that there's actually French-speaking Canadians a bit around. And here we have the four patrol names, so Hibou égaré, Odyssée, Espion, and Licorne flamboyante. So yeah.
Donc, la première activité, c'est un jeu de washer. Donc, ça va être placé en équipe, puis ben, le but, c'est d'envoyer une petite rondelle dans le bac de l'équipe adverse, puis pour une qui arrive à 21 points qui quand même.
Yes. So first station we have is a game of washers. So like 2 boxes with like points. It's we thought of playing it in teams, so it would be like more people can play at the same time, and we would have like music around and just playing games.
Donc, pour la deuxième activité, on a un mélange de 2 activités qui est de faire du pain bannique, qui est une des recettes, je pense, amérindiennes. Puis aussi, pendant que le monde va manger le pain bannique, ça va être de compter la chasse-galerie, qui est une légende qui se passe au Québec.
So second station we have is actually bannick, as some of you said, and at the same time we thought of telling a story of traditional actually Quebec stories. So la chasse-galerie actually in Quebec. So we thought of like kind of telling that as people were eating to make it more enjoyable and teaching Quebec traditions.
Et la dernière activité, c'est le 7 carré, qui est une danse traditionnelle au Québec. Donc, ça va être une animation d'une danse qui se fait en groupe de 8, il me semble, mais on va aussi trouver une variante pour le faire à plus.
So our last station is actually traditional dances. So a set carré is actually a dance with 8 people. We're trying to figure out a way to make it with a lot more. So it's more like fun in groups and with traditional costumes, probably from like francophones in Canada, and just music playing, just having fun.
Ben, merci beaucoup de nous avoir écoutés. Là.
Ça, c'est magnifique. C'est très bien, merci.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the incorporation of aspects of part of our culture. Amazing. Okay. Over to Jamboree Unit 2 under Sean.
Hello all. Yeah, so our Jamboree unit is spread somewhat across the country, from Vancouver all the way to Toronto. So Nate is going to be addressing a summary of what they've been working on so far.
Okay, so we were looking to come up with some activities that combine stuff like sports, art, and food. And so what we were thinking of doing was having sort of a little lacrosse activity, sort of like a pass and shoot thing. So that would be like one thing. And then also we were looking at having maybe like a face painting / tattoo station, and also having some snacks like bannock or beaver tails, something Canadian. And then also having a scoreboard for the lacrosse with some prizes for the winners.
Amazing. Yes, that's a really good one with the scoreboard, because you may find that after Cultural Day, like there might be some patrols that might come back to you as well. So it's a great way to make some friends from around the world. Any other questions or feedback for this unit? Nice. And I'd say that I think it's also very good hospitality to like when you're at the subcamp to, you know, from time to time, like you can also, you know, invite, it doesn't have to be only on cultural day. You could maybe invite another patrol to come get to know each other, trade items, or maybe invite them to, hey, come over to like share a meal, right? Because that's what we're there for the Jamboree. Oh, excellent. Okay, Jamboree Unit 3 under Robin, and I think it's a team presentation. Ivan, Keegan, Callie, Pascal, and Benjamin.
Thanks, Emily. Okay, we're going to try our best at this and see if we can get everyone chiming in at the right time. So, Ivan, where are you?
I am right here. Turn the video on. No camera. All right, I am right here. Our camera is not working right now.
That's all right. We can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. What I wanted to do was I wanted to make a fishing kind of game where they could catch like these tiny salmon from probably like an inflatable kiddie pool, and I was gonna have like numbers on them. Depending on the number, they would get they would get like a prize. It could be from like pins, badges, just a variety of things. That was what my plan was for I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time remembering.
Sounds great, Ivan. That's what I recall. And you said you were going to 3D print the fish, which is really cool.
I was gonna 3D print the fish and the fishing rod too, just to make it slightly.
Cool. All right. Next we have Keegan.
All right, I'm right here, right sitting next to Ivan.
Lost you, Keegan.
They just left the conversation. They must have gotten disconnected.
Okay. Well, maybe we can come back to them in a sec.
They've just rejoined. So can we hear them now?
Sorry, we got disconnected.
There we go.
All good. Continue.
I basically just thought of doing like hockey with some small hockey sticks that were used in West Virginia, I think, or Virginia or somewhere in the past, and just lashing together nets there and playing hockey.
That's great. Thanks, Keegan. I like the idea we can do some lashing on the fly there. Coming up next is Callie.
I just saw them. Callie and Callie, do you want to turn back on your camera? I think you were there earlier. Perfect.
And you're muted, Callie, if you want to take the. Okay.
There they are.
I'm sorry, our stuff was glitching out earlier, so we were just kind of panicking to get it fixed real quick. My bad.
One of our ideas was doing like puzzles, so we'd have like 3 to 4 large puzzle pieces, and people could be put in groups and they'd be timed, and the winner gets like a prize. And if they didn't want to be timed, we'd have like smaller puzzles which would have like different, like each puzzle would have like a different picture from like somewhere with Canada, and each puzzle could have like facts from Canada represented with them. So like if it's a picture of a place, we'd be doing facts about different places, or if it's an animal and stuff like that.
Thanks, Callie. And Pascal.
Hi. One of our ideas was doing like a trivia style game. Multiple choice questions with multiple choice answers. The physical question would be translated into like 10 or so more common languages with like visual paper answers. So you'd hold up the different signs, being like, here's the question, here's the three answers or whatever. The group would come to a decision, pick a thing, and if they got a certain number of questions right or whatever, they could all get a little prize, such as like a little maple candy or Canadian stickers or tattoos or just a little trinket. Questions would be rather simple and just general knowledge or stereotypes that people would be easily able to answer. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Pascal. And finally, Benjamin.
All right, so our plan for the food that we're making on Culture Day is we're going to make beaver tails. So currently we're trying a couple different recipes to get the taste right so that we have a good beaver tail that we can prepare at South Korea. So right now we don't have a recipe set in stone, but yeah, right now our plan is just to make beaver tails.
So for the units that are looking at doing beaver tails, and I think that's a great idea. It's a great, I'll be coming and probably purchasing bunches of them from you. Would you do the traditional? And here's what I want you to think about. What are all the ingredients that you're going to need for those beaver tails so that you can provide that information to us so that we can have that information for you. So what is the flour, baking soda, what are the ingredients, and then what are the toppings that you want for the beaver tails as well too, whether you want cinnamon and sugar, the Nutella, those type of things. As you sort of flush these ideas out, we need you to get into some of those really critical details of narrowing down exactly what you need. So on all of your food items, those are going to be the next questions Emily's going to be asking you as you sort of flush out your ideas, as getting very specific on what your requirements are. And for example, somebody mentioned the hockey sticks that we had in West Virginia. Unless you even ask us that you would like hockey sticks, we're not going to provide them unless you ask. And we'll have to have those discussions because, again, we're not taking a big container full of stuff down this time. So if you're looking at hockey sticks, it might be that we purchase the mini hockey sticks from the dollar store or whatever and create a hockey rink out of mini hockey sticks, right? So those are some of the things that you need to start thinking about details. But great ideas so far, and I like where everybody's going with this. So, and turn it back to Emily.
Yeah. I think the games are a really great idea because it's like interactive. I think just need to consider that not everyone's first language is English. So I'm sure we have a way of, so potentially you might want to prepare something before going in terms of like cards and posters so that you could translate in a couple other languages and then for people to read so that like other people where English might not be their first language would still be able to participate in the activity and learn about Canada. But those are great ideas. Love it.
I can translate for Spanish.
Thank you. That's one language is covered. So I could also provide a listing of these are for World Organization of the Scouting Movement, what they consider kind of the most common official languages as a starting point for what languages you do what definitely will probably want to cover. And then additional ones would be great as well. Okay.
Before you go on, I just wanted to bring up because Rob had a good for lumberwood, and if people are looking at using it, further addendum. But there is bamboo available at an additional cost if you need. So it's in the chat. I just thought it was a good thing to point out for everybody else who might need hockey sticks or is planning to lash anything together, because there is no wood on the site at all. Julie has a question. Sorry.
Do you have a recipe for beaver tails? We've been using it for years as fundraiser. So if anybody needs it, just let me know and I can send it out to you.
Thank you, Julie.
I think we have one more unit, right, Emily?
Yes, we do. That's Jamboree Unit 4 under Adam. And I think John McLaughlin is presenting.
Apologies, Emily. We have some slides, so if John can share his screen, that'd be awesome. He'll run through them real quick.
All right. Can everyone hear me, or can someone hear me? Just to make
Sure
sure that
can.
it's perfect. Thank you. All right. So here are our plans for Culture Day. We're going to do field hockey, and we'll have pictograms to show the rules for field hockey. And for this, we'll need equipment, probably hockey sticks, ball, and probably nets. Then we'll have maple candy for our food. We'll get pre-purchased bags of maple candies, and we can get 2 bags for about $130. Then we'll have collages and trivia. So image collages of like significant things in Canada, like significant places and that sort of thing, but also things that are significant to us in some way. And we'll also have trivia game. We'll also have trivia game running, but we'll have that primarily with images to avoid having to do any translation, at least when possible. And then in the background, we'll have Canadian music playing. Thank you.
I like the
Any
pictograms
questions?
idea. That's really good.
Thank you. Yes, any questions?
Okay, no questions. I know a number of groups has maple candy listed, beaver tails and bannock. That seems to be a common thing. So I think between everyone's submissions where you have wrote down recipes and quantities, I may, after we had told it all, I'll kind of circle back to you all to ask a few more questions about exact quantities and recipes that you need. Yep. I also want to know for the bamboo sticks, I think what we got from the Jamboree is that they are like large bamboo sticks. So like these are sticks that are can be up to 6 feet. And then the diameter is 1.5 inches. So it's probably useful for building gateways, but may not be useful if we're trying to strap them to small hockey sticks to make longer hockey sticks. So we're probably going to help revisit that a bit.
Sorry, can I just correct that there so there's no misgivings? The lengths of bamboo will be 5 meters long, which will be
5
about
meters.
15 feet long. So the best means for you guys to notify Emily to your requirements is to let her know how many 15-foot lengths you would like, and we will buy them in bulk and distribute them to the different sites.
Thanks, Rob. Okay, and then just other final thoughts here is for anyone that has food, I think we would probably also need quantities for things like serving utensils. So that would be a follow-up question. So if it's a beaver tail, like that probably maybe doesn't need much serving, but I think potentially if you are making any changes or revisions, like we need to, I'll revisit with you. And then schedule risk roster. So in terms of a duty roster, because it is important, we're all preparing this cultural day as a team, that there is a good breakdown in terms of who's bringing what, and then also on the day of cultural day, who's setting up, who might be on break and be able to visit some of the other countries' cultural day, who's here for teardown, as well as additional Jamboree duties as well, because you would also still have your regular breakfast and lunch and dinner. So with the units, it would be great to have a think about that next time you have like a unit meeting to kind of talk more in detail to prepare for that. So those are my general thoughts, but I thought this was really, really great. Like, I think this is like, I think the power of like getting everyone to kind of brainstorm ideas, because we like just from the last hour, like we got so many great ideas, and I think we're gonna show up really well at the Jamboree on representing Canada. So good job, everyone.
I'll just translate that part because there was a lot of information and I couldn't write everything in the chat. Donc, juste rapidement là, pour traduire ce que Émilie a dit, donc il va y avoir des grands banteaux de bambou qui vont être disponibles pour les constructions. Si vous souhaitez faire un portique ou autre chose, ça va être 15 pieds ou 5 mètres de long. Laissez-nous savoir si vous en avez besoin parce qu'on va faire une commande de groupe. Donc, écrivez-nous. Si vous faites de la nourriture, n'oubliez pas de penser aux ustensiles pour servir votre nourriture, pas seulement pour la consommer. Vous avez besoin de la préparer. On va avoir besoin de savoir ce que vous avez de besoin. Puis, c'était des excellentes idées que vous avez données. Puis, ça va faire une belle représentation du Canada sur le site.
I want to just quickly comment on something I saw with Unit 1, and I'll call them by their name now, which is Les Francos. To all of the units and to all of the patrols, what Unit 1 has done is they've created a name for their unit now, and they've named each one of their patrols. I strongly recommend that for our next meeting, that might be a takeaway for all of you, to create a unit name for yourselves as well as patrol names for yourself, so that we're no longer having to say Unit 1. We now know them as Les Francos, and I know my pronunciation is pretty bad on that, but anyways, I now know who they are, and that might be something that you will again begin as a project number 2 of naming your units and your patrols.
Thanks, David. There's been a couple of requests in the chat as well. Our chef David has asked for the recipes to be posted in the chat, and Ruben's actually asked for them to be emailed. I think Ruben's going to put them in a newsletter about food, is what I read out of that. So that would be really good, Ruben.
So if everybody can email me by the end of the month, what I'll do is we're going to do a food issue in about a month and a half, 2 months. I'll put them all in there. So everybody who sends me a recipe, I'll make sure that they're in the newsletter, so everybody has access to it.
Donc, si vous faites une recette, assurez-vous de nous l'envoyer par courriel. On va pouvoir l'inclure dans une infolette qui va être envoyée dans 1 à 2 mois. On va toutes mettre les recettes du contingent.
Excellent. All right. Since next on our agenda, I'll actually ask Ruben. I'll surprise him and call on him to talk about the crest. If you have any info for us.
No info yet on the crest. Hopefully by the middle of this week we'll have information.
No, I can give some info on the crest actually.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so there will be a form submitted for the crest. It'll come out with the size of the crest and the shape of the crest. We will be providing all that information to everybody. We will also have a costing to buy different quantities of the badge, be that for your team as an individual, for a patrol, for a unit. Anyone that submits that into the CMT will be able to place that order for you. If you're placing that order early enough, it can be put in one of your unit members or patrol members' contingent kit, so there'll be no shipping cost. If it is ordered after that threshold date, which will likely be end of February, there will be additional shipping charges. These badges will be dealt with through the same payment system that we're dealing with your standard Jamboree payments. So you'll sign a form and Laura will arrange an additional payment that'll come out for the crests, and they'll be shipped directly to one person. The payments within your own unit or patrol will be responsible for whoever that contact person is, and the distribution within your patrol will be the responsibility of that same person.
Thanks, Rob.
Donc, OK, I'll translate that one. Donc, pour ce qui est des badges, l'information va être rendue disponible sous peu. Donc, pour ce qui est des grandeurs puis des coûts, donc, c'est des badges qui vont pouvoir s'imbriquer les uns avec les autres. Donc, vous êtes invités à suivre ce pattern-là. le CMT va pouvoir commander pour tous, puis les badges, s'ils sont reçus avant la date limite, vont pouvoir être inclus dans votre envoi de kit, donc vous n'aurez pas de frais postaux. Si c'est soumis après la date limite, bien là, vous allez avoir des frais additionnels pour l'envoi par la poste. Le paiement, ça va se faire par le moyen habituel, là, par paiement bancaire, comme vous le faites à chaque 2 mois. Puis, on va demander à ce qu'il y ait un seul point de contact par unité ou patrouille. Vous pouvez faire autant de badges que vous voulez, mais un modèle de badge va être envoyé à une seule personne seulement pour faciliter les choses.
And
So
my
there was-
apologies. One last comment on that was will be through the provider that's currently making the badges. You are welcome to go to any other provider with the size and the shape, but we cannot guarantee that they will interlock in the same manner if it's a different manufacturer making the badge.
Et donc, on consolide les commandes pour s'assurer qu'ils puissent s'imbriquer les uns avec les autres, mais vous êtes libre d'aller au fournisseur que vous voulez. Si vous souhaitez faire d'autres choses, faire une autre forme, si vous faites faire cette forme-là par un autre fournisseur, on ne peut pas garantir qu'ils vont bien s'imbriquer avec le reste du contingent.
Perfect. Since you're talking already, David, how about a travel update?
Yeah, sure. So I know there's quite a lot of questions about travel. So there's a lot of movement on that front. So I know you've probably received maybe a couple of emails from the contingent or from myself, or you will receive some in the coming weeks. So we are working very hard on your travel to get everyone to Korea and then back to Canada. As you know, we're a large contingent, so it's a lot of logistics, but we're moving forward with that. Thank you to everyone who submitted their travel information. We are still missing some submissions, so please, if you haven't yet provided your travel information, please do so. You can update, it's in the registration, so please use the email that was sent by the system. And if you can't access your registration file, just send us an email and we can provide you a link. For those that indicated in their travel questionnaire that they wanted to extend their stay in Korea after the Jamboree, you should have received an email from the contingent asking you to confirm your return date. We need that as soon as possible. In fact, the deadline to confirm your return date is today. So if you haven't done so, please look at your emails and reply tonight. After that, we cannot guarantee that we'll be able to get you the delayed return that you want. And unfortunately, if you haven't requested a travel extension, it is a bit too late to do so as we're starting to book all of the tickets. If you have any problem with your travel and you request, please send us an email and we can have a look. If you haven't submitted your passport information, as I said, please do so as quickly as possible as we needed to move forward with the plane tickets. If you need to renew your passport or get a new passport, your request should be sent at this time as there are delays with the passport office. So please, if you need to renew your passport and haven't sent your request yet, do so this week and make sure to send us the updated information as soon as you get it, because we will need it. If you currently have a passport that will be expired or that is expired and that you're waiting for the new one, you can add the information for that old passport just to give us the information to validate and then update it with the new passport once you get it. And finally, the last thing regarding the passport is your passport should be valid until mid-February 2024 because, as you know, with international travel, it is strongly suggested that your passport be valid for 6 months past your planned return date to Canada. As we are coming back at mid-August 2023, your passport should be valid until mid-February 2024. If it's not, please renew it also and send us the updated information as soon as you get your new passport. Finally, please make sure to look at your emails regularly as we'll be sending quite a lot of information and maybe sometimes it will be time sensitive. So have a look and please reply when you need to. Donc, je vais le faire rapidement en français une deuxième fois. Donc, merci à tous ceux qui ont soumis leurs informations de voyage. Si vous ne l'avez pas encore fait, assurez-vous d'aller mettre à jour vos informations dans le lien, dans le système d'enregistrement. Donc, vous pouvez utiliser le lien qui a été envoyé par le système. Si vous ne le trouvez plus, vous pouvez nous envoyer un courriel, puis on va vous renvoyer le lien. Si vous avez indiqué dans votre questionnaire de voyage que vous voulez étendre votre voyage après le Jamboree, vous devez nous confirmer au plus tard ce soir la date de retour que vous souhaitez avoir. Malheureusement, si vous n'avez pas demandé une extension dans votre questionnaire de voyage, il est trop tard pour le faire parce qu'on commence à réserver des billets. Si vous n'avez pas soumis l'information de votre passeport, faites-le le plus rapidement possible. Si vous avez besoin de renouveler votre passeport et que vous n'avez pas encore envoyé votre demande, faites-le maintenant. Ça devrait être fait parce qu'il y a des délais dans le bureau des passeports et on a besoin de votre passeport à jour pour procéder avec les billets. Finalement, si votre passeport expire avant la mi-février 2024, assurez-vous de le renouveler parce que les passeports doivent être valides 6 mois après votre date de retour prévue au Canada. Comme on revient au Canada à la mi-août 2023, votre passeport doit être valide jusqu'à la mi-février 2024. Assurez-vous aussi de regarder vos courriels régulièrement. Il y a beaucoup d'informations qui vont venir par rapport au transport et à d'autres sujets. Puis des fois, on va avoir besoin d'une réponse rapide. Donc, regardez bien vos courriels. Si vous avez des questions concernant le transport ou toute autre chose, écrivez au contingent. Ça va nous faire un plaisir de vous répondre. Thank you.
Sorry, there's been a couple of questions. Oh, Remy answered the question already. So this is a question for us, I guess. Can the unit leader get a list of missing info to assist you in getting the info? David, are you okay with sending the missing info to the PULs so they can hunt down the people as well?
Yeah, so all of the different situations that I mentioned, you will receive an email quickly, shortly from us with the information, and we'll make sure to relay that to the PUL so that you can reach out to your youth and make sure that we get the information we need.
There's also an Ivan and Keegan who posted that they haven't received an email about returning and leaving dates. I don't know exactly what that means, if it means they're trying to leave late. I'm not sure, but they might want to, want to clarify that.
Yeah, so everyone that requested an extension, so that want to remain in Korea after the Jamboree and push back their return flight, they have received an email with details about that. If you haven't received that email, it's probably because you haven't opted in to this option in your travel questionnaire. So please send us an email tonight with the information, and we'll have a look at what is possible, and we'll get back to you as to if we can arrange something for you.
The next question: do the IST depart the same time as participants? And the answer is no.
No. So participants, PULs, carriers, you are traveling on a certain date. So you are leaving Canada on July 27th to arrive in Korea on July 28th, and you are coming back on August 12th. ISTs, you are leaving and returning one day later. So you're leaving Canada on July 28th to arrive in Korea on July 29th and coming back on August 13th. These are the dates. We cannot change them. So if you are an IST and you have a youth, you are not traveling on the same dates, please make the necessary arrangements because the travel dates are different. Donc, je vais juste le répéter en français rapidement parce que c'est important ce point-là. Donc, les participants, les chefs de patrouille d'unité et les IST, vous ne voyagez pas donc à la même date. Participants et chefs d'unité de patrouille, vous quittez le Canada le 27 juillet, arrivez en Corée le 28 et revenez au Canada le 12 août. Pour ce qui est des IST, vous quittez le 28 juillet pour arriver en Corée le 29 et vous revenez au Canada le 13 août. Donc, ça, c'est les dates fixes pour les deux différents groupes. Donc, si vous êtes un adulte IST, que votre jeune participe, vous ne voyagez pas sur les mêmes dates, donc assurez-vous de faire les arrangements nécessaires.
Excellent. Is there any more travel questions?
So I saw a question about all of the passport requirements. Is it the same for the people that stay in Korea and the ones that are coming back? Yes, it's the same for everyone. So the 6-month criteria is for everyone. If you are extending your stay, please calculate your 6-month based on that if you are coming back later. The mid-August to mid-January is for the standard travel dates. Yeah, I don't think I see any other question.
There's a couple more questions coming in fast and furious. So the passport thing, it's a Canada recommendation. So it's the government of Canada actually recommends that you do your
It's
passport
a very
6 months.
strong recommendation that your passport is valid for at least 6 months. If you end up on February 7th, it's not a big deal. But if your passport is expiring in November, it's a bit short. So please renew it.
Just to confirm, youth are leaving the 28th and arriving in Korea the 29th.
Okay, so I will reconfirm and remind you of the travel dates. So participants, PULs, carers, you're leaving Canada on July 27th to arrive in Korea on July 28th. So you can attend the pre-camp and on August 1st get on the Jamboree. And you are coming back to Canada on August 12th. ISTs, you're leaving Canada on July 28th, arriving in Korea on July 29th, and coming back to Canada on August 13th. Those are the dates for the standard dates. The 6 month is strongly suggested by the government.
Somebody asked what time we are leaving. What time of the day are we leaving Korea? David, I'll let you answer, but I think the answer is we don't know.
We are looking at the tickets right now. So in terms of leaving Canada for Korea, you should expect leaving in the morning. Depending on your departure airport and whether you have to take a domestic flight, it may be earlier because the flights to Korea are generally around midday. We're validating everything, so you'll have the information in time. In terms of the return to Canada, you will be leaving at the end of day, either August 12th or 13th, but it's later in the day, and coming back almost the same time in Canada. So you'll have a 12 to 15-hour flight, but it won't. You'll land at the same time as you took off from Korea.
Next question. In the travel questionnaire, if they put their old passport info, should they erase it now or edit it when they get the new one?
So you can leave your old passport information in the system, and when you get your new one, just go and update it. Don't erase and leave nothing. You can leave the old one. It's okay. But make sure to update it once you get your new passport. Donc, juste rapidement, par rapport au passeport, si vous avez votre ancien passeport dans le système, vous pouvez le laisser là, vous n'êtes pas obligé de l'enlever. Faites juste vous assurer d'aller le mettre à jour lorsque vous allez recevoir votre nouveau passeport.
Perfect. Trying to see who else is on our call. Laura, do you have anything to say in this part of the meeting?
My only thing is to remind everybody that the next payment date for Toute la Gang is on February 1st. We'll actually be withdrawing it on February 2nd because that's a Thursday and that's the day we do them. I will be sending out the message, the reminder to everybody approximately 1 week in advance. And once again, congratulations, guys. We have an outstanding record for very, very, very few returns. So almost everybody's totally up to date in their payments. And thank you.
Excellent. Next question that's still there, is everyone flying economy?
Yes, so we're trying to save wherever we can. We cannot pay business to everyone, and there's not enough business seats in an airplane for every one of us. So yes, we're all on economy.
And if that question was sort of pushed at the CMT or any of us, we're all economy as well too, folks. And we're all paying the same amount as you guys are. It's one for all for one.
A question for Laura. Will the last 500 be withdrawn as well?
Absolutely. We don't have all our expenditures in yet.
So CMT stands for Contingent Management Team. So that's those of us wearing the white shirts mostly are Laura. I don't know who else is on here that's wearing them, but it's the group of volunteers that are working towards getting everyone to Korea and making sure everyone's having a great time. We all have different roles here, but that's your contingent management team.
George, if I can just translate the payment, because
of course, sorry.
Donc, juste par rapport au paiement, on sait qu'il y avait une mention que peut-être que le dernier pourrait être annulé ou réduit, mais pour l'instant, on va maintenir l'échéance de paiement complète. parce qu'on n'a pas encore tous les coûts, puis comme vous le savez, tout augmente. Donc, ça va être les paiements complets qui étaient prévus au moment de votre inscription.
A couple more questions for you. Will the whole plane be filled exclusively with people in scouting?
No, we're a large group, but not that large, and we're leaving from all across the country. So we'll actually be we're grouping everyone either in Toronto or Vancouver and then flying you to Korea. So note there will be other people on the plane. You'll carry the image of Canadian Scouts on the plane, so please be respectful and think about that.
I'm not going to comment on David's comment just a minute. So there's another question for you. If you stay behind in Korea for 1 week, does the travel insurance cover to only August 12th, no matter if we extend our stay in Korea or not?
We're looking at the insurance right now. We'll share more information as soon as we have, and then we'll let know the people that are concerned by the situation. We'll let you know what happened with that.
Chef David wants us to do the Harlem Shake. I'm not sure about that, but another question, do we travel in uniform? So we would expect that you travel in the contingent uniform, whatever.
Yeah, so you need at least your scarf, but also your t-shirt that will be in your kit, and more information on that will be in one of the newsletter. Closer to departure date, there will be another newsletter about travel, and you'll have all of the information in that one. Donc, plus près du départ, il va y avoir une autre infolettre sur le voyage avec toute l'information, notamment comment vous devez vous habiller pendant qu'on voyage. On s'attend à ce que vous ayez au moins votre foulard et probablement votre t-shirt du contingent aussi.
Perfect. For the person asking what the Harlem Shake is, just Google it. It's probably the best thing. Someone asked, isn't it part of insurance that you need to be in uniform during scouting travel to and from events? That is actually not the case. We just strongly always recommend it. I know when I was council commissioner, David, when he was council commissioner, it in the unlikely or unfortunate event you ever do get into trouble or something, if you're all in uniform, that makes a difference sometimes, or can make a difference if it ever became an issue, but it is certainly not a requirement. That's that Scouts Canada thing, David. I don't know if you need to translate that or not.
And people are also nicer to you when you're all in uniform.
Yes. Yes.
Might get some perks.
Yep. Crossing the border, we always recommend when we cross the border. When we went to West Virginia, like 5 minutes from the border, I went with Chef David. We all stopped, put on our stuff, cross the border, take it off. It makes things a little bit nicer. We are talking about the contingent uniform. So it'll be your contingent t-shirt and your contingent necker.
Donc, je ne vais pas traduire tout ça, mais je vais seulement dire qu'il y a des avantages à voyager avec votre uniforme scout. Donc, c'est pour ça qu'on le demande. And I see another question about the 4 days before the Jamboree. So I assume that is the pre-camp. There will be more information about the pre-camp in the newsletter that will come out very, very soon. So look out for that. Donc, par rapport au pré-camp, il va y avoir plus d'informations sur ces activités-là dans une infolette qui va sortir très, très bientôt. Donc, regardez vos courriels pour ça.
Yes, so there's another question here about ratio. Let me where to go. Our typical scouter to youth ratio doesn't apply for patrols traveling on their own. So on the plane, there's likely to be plenty of scouters there, so the ratio will be met in some fashion. Or if they're traveling entirely by themselves, technically as venturers, there doesn't need to be a ratio part. But I don't think that'll be an issue with travel with the ratio stuff. How do we make sure we are getting newsletters and updates? I don't think I'm getting them. Everything gets sent out for the newsletters and things through the registration system. I'm asking Laura and Ruben.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
I do. I have a list that includes every youth participant email that they listed and everyone who is a youth participant, their parent email. And so I send it out, and it's about 560 different emails. And if I get a bounce back, I start working through why we got a bounce back and even pick up the phone and call people. So there are very, very few bounce backs. Does everybody read their emails, or did they give us emails where they put their junk mail? I can't tell you that.
Yeah, if you're not getting them, I would check your spam folders as well to make sure stuff doesn't go there. That's always the first place to look. And if you're still not, let us know, and I'm going to let David translate that part.
Oui, donc si vous recevez pas nos courriels ou nos infolettres, donc laissez-nous savoir, ça se peut qu'on ait la mauvaise adresse courriel, mais regardez aussi votre dossier de courriel de spam, ça se peut que le courriel termine là, donc assurez-vous de regarder ça, mais si vous recevez pas l'information, écrivez-nous pour qu'on essaie de trouver le problème.
Couple more questions. So there was a question about the IST rules. We still haven't heard anything about the IST rules. They keep saying soon. Susie's going to say something. She waved at me.
I am. We just found out that they will be released by the end of this month. And I think there's an IST session, isn't there? So we should wait until we don't have all the Christmas. So let's talk about it then.
We can talk about that after 8:30. More.
Yeah.
Next
question.
Because
it only affects the ISTs. It doesn't affect any of these youth. So I don't want to clog their
time. But the question came up and I didn't want to leave it unanswered in some capacity. So how frequent are the newsletters? Oh, I've missed a question already, Tim. How many newsletters have we sent out?
We've sent out 3 and a circular.
All right. About every monthish is about the frequency. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. I'm doing it myself, so it's some days it's sooner, some days it's later, but yeah, roughly.
The next comment is, what are the South Korean rules on pocket knives / multi-tools? Would it be better just to leave them at home? That's a really good question, and I don't have an answer.
What I could say on that is that there will be another newsletter about travel closer to departure date, and we'll have all of these rules in there so that you can adjust on your checked baggage and your carry-on given these rules. So check out for the newsletter, the travel newsletter closer to departure date.
Yeah.
Carol posted a really good link that we found. The Jamboree site lists a bunch of rules, and one of them is pertaining to blades.
Excellent. Thanks for that link. I'll get Ruben to maybe post that link in a future newsletter or something. David, you can do your plug after 8:30. Where are we here? Customs. So it said, are we able to pick our seats on the plane?
Yeah, that's the question I saw also. No, you cannot select your seats. I know you've probably put your preference in your travel questionnaire. We'll try as much as we can to respect that if you want a window seat or an ASO seat, but no, you cannot pick your seat. We'll have a group space. You'll have a seat there, and if you're not beside your friends, you'll meet them once we arrive in Korea. So it's just a 12-hour flight. You'll meet everyone at the end.
A question about customs, is that in Canada or will we be doing it when we get to Korea?
So the customs will be when you arrive in Korea. So you'll do the departure customs here in Canada, and then your arrival, the Korean customs will be in Korea, in Seoul.
This is probably a next one. Can we confirm when the newsletters were sent, roughly? Or Ruben can look that up.
If you guys want access to the newsletters, I put the links there so you can download them. They came out, I think, one in November, one in October, one a bit before that. Each newsletter will have when it was, what month it was posted.
Excellent. This next question is for Maria or Eric, presuming they're still on the call. Where should I look to find out what ADHD meds are allowed in South Korea? Or maybe even Dr. Doug. I know he's on this call.
I have
Maria?
a partial answer. Is as long as you have your prescription, you should be okay. because you've been prescribed with it from abroad. You're not buying it there. You're not carrying it in a little baggy, non-identified, please. So as long as you have your prescription for it here, you should be fine. But I will definitely look into it and have a better answer.
Important that any prescription medications be in their original bottles from your pharmacist.
Thank you. Insulin is okay, I'm guessing. I guess.
Little side note about prescriptions. Have a copy on your phone. Have a paper copy, an extra copy of whatever prescription you have, and not only on the bottles. In case we lose that bottle, we can get you some.
Excellent idea.
I think the concern is for like narcotics and stimulants, since those tend to be a bit more frowned upon in other countries. But when I went to Kisk a couple weeks ago, didn't have an issue. But yeah, I had everything in original bottles and all that.
Susie can comment on it because we did have this discussion. So.
We did. There is a process for narcotics. That is absolutely correct. When you fill out your medical forms, please do that right away. South Korea does have rules on narcotics, and when we have the list of items, then our medical team can liaise with the medical team there and see if they fall underneath that list or not. And if they do, we just need to get permission to have them there and a reason for it. So it's not that you won't be able to take them. We just need to have them well documented. And we might need to get approval depending on what they are.
So who should be contacted to let them know we're not getting the newsletter? Me. I'm a good contact for everything. Or our generic info mailbox, which Laura receives and then forwards it on to the correct person. Someone can paste that into the chat because I don't have it handy at this very moment. There was a question earlier about Gravol. I think as long as Gravol's not prescription, I didn't think. I don't know. I think it's an over-the-counter medicine, so you should be. I'm not even going to answer about that part of it.
Well, it still needs to be in the original package.
Yeah. It's not normally a prescription item. Some physicians might prescribe it, but if it's in its original packaging, you should be okay, but we probably need to check that.
Excellent. Well, are there any restrictions for batteries for such things as a CPAP machine? On the
We'll have a look in terms of the plane, and we'll get back to you. So yeah, if you have any of these requests, please make sure to send them to us, and we can follow up with the travel agency, the airline, and with you.
Someone has posted in the chat, but we'll confirm anyways that lithium batteries have to go on board with the people. They can't go into cargo, so don't pack them. We'll confirm that though.
And also understand that charging, just one thing, just know that charging those devices isn't going to be as easy as it is back here either.
Correct. Yes. So if you are bringing a letter, wouldn't it hurt to have it translated so it can be ready by customs agents? I'm making gross assumptions about English language skills here, so I don't know that it needs to be translated. That's translated into Korean or translated into English. Whoever asked that question. Could it be translated?
This sounds like a very specific question, so you're probably best to send this question directly to George so we can look into it for you.
Yep. So will there be camps meeting to patrol members in Canada in person before the pre-camp in South Korea? So some, as I mentioned earlier, didn't mention on this call, I mentioned on the other call. I am in contact with someone for the Dorchester International Brotherhood Camporee, which is in Ontario Mother's Day weekend. We will be looking to have an invite out to that for everybody in the Ontario area. And I'm not aware of anything else that's going on. I don't know if any of the West Coast groups are planning to meet together or not. There's nothing actually organized. South Quebec counts as Ontario as well. I'll send the invite out to everybody in Canada. I'm not sure because I believe for the last one, one of the ISTs flew in from Vancouver area for the pre-camp in DIBC.
So to be very clear as well too on this, George, there is no budget to fund any camps for the youth to get together between now and the Jamboree. If units want to get together, that would be upon them to decide their ability to do so, as well as fund that event themselves.
Je vais traduire, I will translate that one, just in case. Donc, si vous voulez vous rencontrer en unité, en personne avant le site, vous devez le faire vous-même, donc vous organisez et le financer. Donc, parlez-vous si vous voulez organiser une telle chose. Le contingent n'a pas d'argent de côté pour organiser ou payer des activités comme ça.
So I can see from the chat that someone in Vancouver area is looking at something out that way, Vancouver Island Gathering. I'm sure they could extend it to the other groups in Vancouver as well, or BC. And Cadence has said that they're working on something for Voyager as well. You're the only one of the members on the East Coast in your patrol. Yes. Some of the patrols are varied across the country. There's people all across this country, and some are with their members local, some are their members are not. So I also see that Les Franco, I said that horrible. I'm not going to try. Are looking to organize something in May. So maybe I will let her know all of the members that are in the Montreal area, whether they're in her patrol or not. If that's something that they're open to. While we are pre-post traveling, are there any countries that Scouts Canada or Association of Scouts to Canada don't allow their members to travel to?
Do your own research.
Yeah, what I would say on that is that when you are pre or post, well, in our case, mostly post traveling, you are on your own. So you're traveling as an individual and you can do what you want. You will not be as part of the contingent. So it's really as an individual basis. There may be some places that you don't want to go as an individual, but that's up to you.
I think the government of Canada also has a list of countries that they warn you not to go to. That's a good start.
I think North Korea is probably on that list.
And apparently, from somebody else, is you can't just go to North Korea. You have to ask to go there. Can't just show up at the border and say, "Please let me in."
My understanding is you also wouldn't be able to go via South Korea anyway. So,
George, that's the other thing too. Is if anybody is wanting to go to the demilitarized zone, that is a request to visit it. You don't just get in the bus and go up to the demilitarized zone. If you want to go to the demilitarized zone, if that is part of your plans as a post trip, you need to actually make arrangements to go visit it. An application to it.
This question's been, any information about travel insurance yet? The answer was no. On that, that's all the questions so far. Are we visiting the DMZ? We are not visiting the DMZ as a contingent. That's the pre-camp. There'll be more information about the pre-camp coming out in a future newsletter / meeting, but we're not going to the DMZ. That's all the questions I see. For the CMT folks, did I miss anyone? Maria, did you want to talk about what's upcoming in medical stuff?
Sure, if we have a little minute. So, Perfect. There will be a newsletter coming soon, end of the month. There will be a lot more information from that. And if you still have questions, please send them my way. What's coming up in February is the medical system. So the estimated date will be February 15th. Be on the lookout for the email invitation. It will not come from Scouts Canada. It'll probably go through directly an email created by ePact. So look on the junk or spam or whatever other side emails it could be in, because it's very important. As we mentioned before, we need this information to be able to register all the participants correctly. It is adapted to what South Korea is asking from us. Like we mentioned earlier, information like blood type and RH is mandatory. We have to give that information. So if you can get a family doctor or an appointment to figure out what blood type you are, it's one of the most important things right now. We will have more information on the types of vaccine. So far, I don't see requirements. It's always a talk to your doctor and see what they suggest. But they are asking about some base vaccine dates. So dust up the vaccine paper that we all have when we were very, very young, and I'll try to find mine as well. And regarding allergies, there will be information given, like little cards for translation. So whoever has allergies and has declared their allergies, we already put into production little cards that will say cannot contain this food. They will only be given to the people who have declared the allergies. So please, if you have one, haven't declared it, please do. If one develops in the next 3 months, update your medical system. I will get you one. Any other questions? I'll let George.
There's a whole bunch of travel clinic says wait 6 to 8 weeks before. Wow, lots of questions all at once here. Does the same apply for over-the-counter medicines? Should we have it in original packaging?
Yes.
Yes.
All medicine in original package, any prescription medicine with a paper copy of the prescription, and take a picture on your phone. Same thing for glasses. Do have a copy of a prescription of your glasses or contact lenses in case they break or they get lost. We can help you replace them easier than if you don't have it.
Yes. Someone said travel clinic, and Victoria says wait 6 to 8 weeks before departure date to have a consult for the type of vaccines required.
You can start getting your information now. Some clinics do have a amount of days before traveling for the vaccine to be effective. But then again, ask your family doctor about that.
Yes, I thought there was, and I could be wrong, but I thought there was one that someone was looking at. There was a long time between first dose and second dose, like a twin rex type.
The Hep B is you take it the first dose, a month later the second dose, and then usually 6 months the third dose. Correct, Dr. Doug?
Correct. Yeah, well, I believe for Korea, it's hepatitis A that's recommended. I personally would recommend Twinrex, which is A and B. And you need to get the first 2 doses in, as David has said, a month apart. And then the third dose is the one that gives you longer lasting immunity. That will be one of our recommendations. The rest of the immunizations, other than COVID, are usually the routine medication or routine immunizations that people get: tetanus, polio, diphtheria, that sort of thing. And As far as COVID, I personally would not go traveling anywhere without my COVID shots up to date. And that would be my recommendation. And I believe that Heather Waterman and I have talked about this. That's our recommendation as well. The worst thing that could happen is that we end up with COVID in our contingent somewhere.
Just a quick thing, just in case not everybody knows, Dr. Doug and Dr. Waterman are, yeah, both of them can waive. There are physicians that are going with us, so that's why why we're deferring to them on a lot of these questions. Just quick introduction for everybody.
G'day, everybody.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot. It's just I know you joined a little bit later.
Yeah.
And may not everybody knows who you are. So
yeah,
we keep asking questions about you or to you. And and you guys are both coming to the Jamboree. So.
And we both have actually fairly extensive involvement with scouting events before, so both on group basis and Canadian and international basis. So that hopefully will be of some help to people.
I'm sure it will. So there's a question that says, so should we definitely start vaccinating with Twinrex vaccine right now?
I would consider that, yes, that would be very safe. I personally had my shots already, so.
Excellent.
And if you've had Twinrex before or hepatitis A before, discuss it with your physician, because the renewal dose is not the same as the ones David was outlining.
Good to know. I've had it a long time ago. The question was, how long does your Hep A and B last? I presume the vaccinations.
I might see if Heather has any information on that. I believe that it's 10 years, but if Heather's on the line, she can make a comment.
I'm on the line. I'll just introduce myself to everybody. My practice is I'm in my 20th year of practicing emergency medicine. By definition, the only vaccine I ever administer is tetanus and whooping cough. So I'm the wrong person to answer that question. I don't know.
We would strongly recommend you talk to your own doctors.
Yeah, speak to your own
please
physician.
confirm with your own doctors.
So someone asked, will there be a link to the recording of this call? Yes, there will be a link sent out soon. So that's all I have for this part of the call. This is the end of our the regular part of the meeting. The IST meeting will start in a few minutes. Is there any final questions for us? You're always welcome to email myself or the info line. Laura's very good about answering emails, and she'll forward them on to whoever needs to answer them if she can't answer them herself.
Don't everybody send me an email tonight.
Yes, I've been getting a number about newsletters already, so we can figure that out. With those, someone's asked, is Twinrex needed for immunizations? Are there any more? So there will be one, consult your doctor is always a good answer for those things. And there is going to be some information on vaccinations coming out. I think I heard Maria say that.
Indeed.
So I'll just translate your last comments, George. Donc, c'est votre dernière opportunité. Si vous avez des questions, faites-le maintenant. Sinon, c'est ce qui va terminer notre rencontre d'aujourd'hui. Merci à tous pour votre participation, vos présentations, puis toutes vos questions. Si vous avez d'autres questions à n'importe quel moment, écrivez-nous un courriel à l'adresse générique du contingent, puis on va vous répondre le plus rapidement possible. Puis passez un excellent mois, puis on va se revoir en février.
Excellent. Well, everyone have a good night. And we will see everybody in a month's time. There'll be hopefully lots of information coming out between now and then, though. Who do I email for the badge? The badge template will be out later this week. So we'll be sending that out this week sometime.
If you guys want, I have the list of the examples of the vaccines given by the South Korea contingent. If it will help you on your look for what to ask your doctor. Right? So they're just asking the dates. If you don't have it, it's okay. They just want to know if you had it, when was the last time you had it. Tetanus, hepatitis A, pertussis, hepatitis B, diphtheria, encephalomeningitis, measles, mumps, rubella, influenza, polio, and chickenpox.
Excellent. So I'm going to stop the recording for this session and then run downstairs really quickly and let my dog out. And we'll start the next meeting up in a couple minutes.